Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mio. We are just getting started on this return client. She came back bare. She did the thing that she wasn't supposed to do and ripped off all of her nails. We actually had this really cool Winnie the Pooh set that we did. I'm still like editing that video, but it was so gorgeous. But that's what we had on before. I gave her a stern warning, do not rip off these nails, but she did. But we're just gonna get her set for a new set going in now. So I've already sprayed her down with some alcohol. And I'm just taking this metal cuticle pusher and literally just pushing the skin away. She's a client that's a little bit more sensitive in this area. So as you can see, I'm literally just pushing slowly. I'm not doing any scraping. I'm just revealing the dead skin that might be on that nail plate. Going in like I normally do with my diamond skiver bit, and we are just going to grind away, not even grind because it's really light pressure, but just using the E-file. It's a diamond abrasion, so it's safe to use on the natural nail, but I'm mostly trying to get it up underneath the eponychium. I love that this diamond pointy bit can do that. And then scraping the nail plate, trying to keep the bit as flat as possible or as parallel as I can to the actual nail plate. You don't want to dig down into the nail. That's how you cause rings of fire. Now that that's set, I'm going in with this diamond ball bit, and we're just going to use this to clean up the skin around the nail. So I actually don't use this on the nail plate. I try to focus it on the skin, so on the side walls and around the eponychium. If there's dry skin and you're using this diamond ball bit, it really does help to kind of smooth or sand away a lot of that dead skin for you. If you're someone who's a little bit nervous about using nippers or scissors, then this is a great option for you. I find that doing this also just helps to give the appearance of the nail something a little bit nicer, so that when you finish the set, then the skin looks great, the nails look great too. I'm going to go in with another finishing diamond bit later in the process, but for now we're just using a ball bit to kind of clean away any of that dead skin that's sitting around her nail. After that, I like to go in with my sanding band and just buff the whole nail. You see me going on her skin a little bit too. But I'm going in with this coarse sanding band from Young Nails, and with a super light pressure and at a really slow speed, really the slowest speed that my E-file can go. You don't want to use this at a high speed. One, you're going to remove too many layers of that natural nail, and two, you might give your client some like friction burn, that heat burn when you place a bit too high or too long in an area. I'm just literally using it to dust the nail, give it just a little bit of an etching so that any product that we adhere on top of it will have something really coarse to kind of stick to. You don't want to do too much at this step. After that, I'm just going to go in and we're going to apply some new tips. So I'm using these really cool tips. I can't remember where they're from. I think they might be from Zule. Not entirely sure, but I did place them in this nail box just because I hate dealing with those bags. But these are some super long coffin tips. We will cut them down so they're more of a tapered square at the length that we're cutting them, but I'm just making sure to size her up appropriately. She did rip her nails off before, so there's not even like a free edge to be cautious with. So I am sticking the nails down as far down as possible. Normally I don't do that. I like to just stick the very tip of that tip on that nail so that we have a lot of enhancement versus glue. But in this case, we got to make sure that the tips are on securely, making sure to size her up appropriately, and then just use an adequate amount of glue so that it's not spilling everywhere, but you want these tips to be super secure. In terms of making sure that the tips are straight, as you can see, some of her fingers are doing a little bit of the wobble, and I made a joke about it, and she's like, "You've been saying that since I started coming here." And I'm like, "Yeah, girl, because these fingers is doing a lot." Just to make sure that your nail tips apply straight, try to envision a straight line down the entire knuckle, the finger, right? So don't look at the fingertip. Like if you look at this pointer, if I line it up with that pointer finger, it's going to be leaning to the bottom right of the screen. We want to envision the nails going all the way down the whole finger, and you're going to see I'm angling it a little bit more towards the left so that the nail appears straight coming from her nail bed. If I followed that fingertip, for sure it would be crooked. So, do what you think works for you. But I like to envision a straight line down the knuckles of the finger versus following the fingertip. That way we get a nice straight appearance throughout the hand versus just the tips, and then your fingernails are going in like different directions. Nothing crazy. So after that, I'm just going to size her up. I like to size the right hand of my client and then use that as a guide to do the left hand. So you can see we've already come to an agreement on the nails. I'm always like going a little bit longer because the filing process, and just because I like a longer nail. But yeah, I like to size up the right hand, have the client kind of move around, tap their phone, put their hand in their bag, see if it feels normal. Sometimes they like to make a fist, whatever it is. Then when they give me the okay, I use that right hand to then measure the left hand. All I gotta do is just place one hand on top of the other, get the fingers cuticle to cuticle, and then clip, as best as you can. I'm gonna go in lightly with a hand file to just clean this up, blend again with that same sanding band, and then we're gonna get ready for prep. And it's prep time. So I'm going in with my normal. This is the Mia Secret dehydrator. I'm going in with the Mia Secret primer and then a thin coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond. You can kind of see what's going on down below. If you're getting excited because you see pixies on the table, you absolutely should, because we are encapsulating pixies in this set and it is my thing. I love doing it. I've been doing it now for about 2 years. And I just think encapsulating pixies is like the best thing you can possibly do. It just makes everything so much better. I can't wait for Christmas time because that's definitely when I do it the most, I find. It just really works with holiday sparkle. I'm just going in with my protein bond now and just giving her a light tap of that around the cuticle area. I don't really use this on the entire length of the nail. I find most of my clients experience lifting towards the back of the nail. And I'm using a different acrylic today. So instead of my normal Young Nails Core Clear, we are using the Valentino Crystal Clear. And ever since I purchased this product, I've never actually used it, which is crazy. I was looking for a glow-in-the-dark clear that I got from a different brand and saw this and I was like, man, I forgot I had it. So I'm using it. I'm also using the Valentino monomer. So it's, system, it's working really well. I remember And it could have just been because it was warm, like summertime, but I just remember when I first received the Valentino products, I was struggling so much. They were setting so fast. And now they're working great, but it could have been the weather. I'm not sure. Or maybe I wasn't using the monomer with the acrylics, but yeah, nothing crazy. The crystal clear, I will say, does have a very different texture. It has more of a texture kind of like sugar. So it's not that super, super fine, dusty, powdery texture of acrylic. Like if you blow on it, it just kind of flows in the air, this super, super fine dust. This acrylic is more like sugar. It's like really, really chunky granules, but I really like it. It reminds me of one of these amazing crystal clear acrylics that I used from a company called the Red Acrylics. I've raved about them. I don't know if they're still active, but I'll definitely link other videos where I might have, you know, talked about their crystal clear, if I can remember what videos that might be. Yeah, I probably won't be able to remember, but if I do, I'll link it. But yeah, I'm just going in like I normally do with a layer of clear acrylic on all of these nails. We are doing a glass nail, so I find anytime I'm doing a glass nail, it's really, really important for me to base the nail in clear acrylic. Applying anything on the clear tip, I just, you know, you never know what the client's going to ask for next time, so it's just always best for me, best practice for me at least, just to give it a clear coating. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'll say like on my nails, that you can see those brown nails, I didn't do a clear base, you know, because it's my nails and I can kind of just, you know, do what I want. But if it's a client, I always try to remember to put a clear base down, because you never know, she might come back and want something super dark, and then after that want a clear base again, you know, and then you might have to remove it and apply different tips. But doing this, yeah, it's a little bit more timely. You have to, you know, spend some more time doing clear acrylic, but it saves you in the long run. But that's it, just giving it a nice watery coat of clear acrylic using the Valentino monomer and the Valentino crystal clear. Okay, now we're getting to the fun stuff. So the inspiration for this design, I saw a picture of something on Instagram and I changed it a lot. I was actually wanting to do these like kind of witchy nails that were like moon and stars inspired. This is like my third or fourth moon and stars set on my channel and I just love it. I feel like I can never get enough. It is just so gorgeous and mystical and pretty and just love, right? And I was actually going to use these like witchy stickers of like moons and like eyes and I don't know, starbursts and things like that. I was going to try and encapsulate them along with this, but I was telling the client it is always best when thinking of a design to edit and take one or two things out of it. So I was actually also going to do transfer foil with like angels and do clouds like I did on a previous set. I will link that set that I'm talking about where I did like the sunset moon and stars. I did like marble with color change and then dabbed some clouds on there and then encapsulated. It was a whole lot, but that's it. Came out really pretty. For this set, I was like, you know what, I'm going to edit, I'm going to remove some things, and I did, and I think it just came out super, super simple and just gorgeous and soft and dreamy. That's what the client was telling me, that I should label this set a dreamy set, and I was like, you got it. So to get started, we are actually using some acrylic from Zule. Shout out to Zule. Love this acrylic. I got it a while ago and I've just never used it. This client loves a nude base to her nail. She loves when the nail bed is covered in nude, and then I can do pretty much whatever I want at the back of the nail, but she's a nude lover. And she loves this color. As you can see, it's pretty much the same as her natural nail bed. This is called Covered Dusty Rose from Zule's Acrylics. And as you can see, I'm literally just placing a bead right at the cuticle and just brushing it down to kind of nothing, ombreing it to that clear tip. I just want to basically cover the natural nail. I don't want to have to see her nail. I don't want to see any free edge or anything like that. So that's basically what the purpose is here, just to give the nail a unison. Is that a word? Unison? Unison's a word. A united look, I guess, just to kind of clean up the nail bed area so that we don't have to see, you know, any scars or any, you know, lines of demarcation or anything like that. I'm just covering up her natural nail so that it's nice and clean for all of the nails. All right, so for our accent finger, all of the nails did get that nude color base to cover the nails. And as you can see, it kind of just ombres, fades into that clear tip. I'm using this really cool color from Not Polish. It is called Purple Glow, and it's a sheer white. So I would say it's kind of like a milky white, but it glows bright purple. And I just kind of swatched a big dollop of it, like diagonally across the nail from that nail bed area. And I'm leaving the tip of the nail clear. And while that white acrylic is still wet, you can see I'm pressing in not hundreds, but like tons and tons of pixies into that white acrylic. I'm just using it kind of like my glue. I'm building up a geode kind of look. So I've done this before on my channel, maybe not so much with so many pixies, but definitely I've done this on my channel before. And we're going to surround it with the gold foil. So that's what you're seeing the gold foil on the table for. I'm going to use some clear acrylic from the Valentine. I'm still using the crystal clear, and I'm just going to use that in super wet washes of beads to kind of get that gold foil to stick. And we're just going to surround that geode area. And whenever I'm working with gold foil, like this chunkier textured foil, I like to kind of ombre it. So it's a lot heavier right around the pixies, but as we move back towards the cuticle area, you're gonna see I'm using finer and finer pieces. And I don't know, it matters to me. I see a lot of people just kind of slap it on, and that's fine. But to me, I think the foil should always kind of like fade into nothing. I don't know. It just takes me a long time to work with this foil, and I really like it. I think it comes out great. But the foil looks beautiful against the nude and against those pixies. And obviously pixies make everything better, and it just has this gorgeous texture. And the client was actually like, is it gonna be like rough like this? And I'm like, no girl, we're gonna encapsulate so you'll have beautiful smooth nails. And she appreciated that. So that's what's happening here, just making sure to outline that geode area with the pixies. In terms of the other portion of the nail where the free edge is, I am making sure to not cover too much of the tip with the gold foil. We want to make sure that we see that uber clear glass tip for the end of the video. and that's a wrap pretty much for this, you know, accent nail. For the rest of the nails though, we are going to be using that same nude base. So all of them got the same treatment in terms of that dusty rose color. Now I'm going to be marbling clear and that glow purple white. I think it's called purple white actually from Not Polish. I'm just going to be lightly marbling it. I want the nails to be mostly clear, but I want little hints of that white to be in there just to give us indication of clouds so that we know it's like a sky vibe or whatever, but making sure that it's mostly clear. While that's still wet, I'm going in with my pixies and just dabbing them across kind of diagonally, honestly kind of randomly on the nail. We just want little bits of twinkle. So these would be like our little stars in the galaxy. And then while the acrylic is wet, I'm going to pick up some moons and stars of these charms and just slap them all over the nail, and it's going to be so gorgeous. Just the color scheme of the pixies that kind of reflect all these different colors, and the gold is just so gorgeous with a little soft white. It's just beautiful, beautiful, and you're gonna see it kind of coming together. Yeah, we were definitely loving it. I don't know if I'm ever gonna stop doing moons and stars sets because they're just so ethereal and soft, and it just feels like it takes your breath away. It's just so beautiful, especially this one. I know that I've done some before, like that super hot pink one. That was like really bold and cool, but this one is just airy and dreamy and just so gorgeous. So I'm gonna basically be doing this for the rest of the nails, adding not too many pieces. I am also going back in with my clear acrylic, sometimes the white acrylic if necessary, but again, just marbling the two colors on the free edge of the nail for the most part. And it's not even like a really cool marble. I'm literally just swatching the colors around so that it's not completely clear, adding pixies and then adding those charms, using acrylic as necessary to kind of lock them down. And then that's pretty much it. You can watch me do this to the rest of her fingers. And I had to give you a close-up of what they look like. Guys, this looks so beautiful. Just gorgeous. I can't even gush about it enough. But you know what's coming next. It is time to clear cap these nails. One thing to keep in mind, yeah, just beautiful. One thing to keep in mind when clear capping nails like this that have a lot of texture underneath the acrylic that you're placing is to work wetter than you think you need to. If you're someone who likes to dry out their beads before placing them, definitely don't do that on your first bead, because it has to flow all around those pieces that are raised up off the nail. Like if you're just encapsulating like a sticker, fine. But I find that when you're encapsulating pieces that stick up off the nail, pixies, charms, things like that, you want the acrylic to kind of flow all the way around those pieces so that you don't end up with air pockets, or maybe the acrylic won't flow all the way down. You just want to make sure that you're working wetter than you normally would. Once you kind of have them smushed under that acrylic, then you can work like you normally do. So, you know, same thing like I'm always talking about, cleaning your sidewalls, pushing that product back in towards the center to maintain that shape, and patting that product back in. Yeah, I'm just working with the same Valentino clear acrylic. I thought it was really, really great. It worked really well. Yeah, I'm just taking my time. I am using the Cara Sky size 14 brush. I have pinched it flat. I actually just recently purchased a 16, so we'll see what that's like. I do still feel like the 14 is really, really small compared to the 14s that I've used before, but I'm waiting for that 16 to arrive so we can kind of work with that. But the 14 is great. I'm getting really used to it. I'm using it a lot, actually. It's like the brush that I grab mostly now, which is interesting. Really great quality. It's really light in the hand. I'm not used to that either. I'm used to like a really heavy brush in my hand. But we'll see what that 16 is like. But yeah, we're just clear capping all of these nails, building up for structure, and making sure not to flood the cuticle and sidewall areas. If I happen to, just using the tip of the brush to kind of sweep that product away. And you know, just maintaining that shape. You see me perpetually patting the sidewalls, patting my free edge. I want these nails to kind of maintain that beautiful shape of those tips so that we don't have to do a lot of filing afterwards. Once done with my acrylic application, it is time to e-file. I know the order might be different than other, nail techs that you might know of, but I prefer to e-file before hand filing. And in this case, we are just maintaining that shape, smoothing out the surface of the nails, and debulking where necessary. Because we did encapsulate a lot of those chunkier pieces, those charms, you might have to shave through. I think that happened on one finger where like a star was sticking out the edge a little bit. Just using your e-file to kind of shave that down so that it's smooth on the surface of the nail. Sometimes you might see me run my thumb down the length of the nail just to see if I can feel any lumps and bumps, especially when encapsulating chunkier pieces. But for the most part, just cleaning up the surface of the nail, going around the cuticle and sidewall areas to make sure that it's nice and tight. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for this part. Not done with my e-file just yet. Going in with my new favorite bit. This is a diamond prep bit. It is in the shape of a cylinder, and I'm loving this bit in terms of cleaning up and just sealing that cuticle and sidewall area in terms of enhancements. I find that it is really, really great. One, it doesn't really hurt the client because it's not super sharp. It is diamond abrasion, so you can get all the way up in there, and you can use it on the skin. So it just helps me to really, really fine tune the application, and I just find that my sets have been looking a lot cleaner, a lot tighter, which I appreciate for myself. So we've already smoothed the surface of the nails. At this point, I'm just using this bit to, as you can see, get really, really close to the skin, sometimes even using it on the skin if there's product there, if I've left any dead skin around that area, and just to thin out and seal the sidewall and cuticle area with this bit. I am using it at a higher speed than I would if it was on the natural nail. It's about the same medium to high speed that I use with my regular e-file for smoothing. But yeah, the client, let me know that it wasn't painful. It just kind of felt like normal. And I'm just using it again to smooth and seal up that cuticle and sidewall area. Now I'm going in with an 80/80 hand file. So this one's got a lot of grit on it, and I'm using it to give my final shape. At this point, the shapes of the nails are pretty maintained, but I like a nice sharp shape. So the reason why I like to go in with my e-file first and then hand file second is that if I found that when I was doing it in the other option, I guess, hand filing first and then e-filing second, I would soften the shape with the e-file. I like a nice sharp nail once done with the hand filing. It just makes sense for me. I can smooth the surface of the nail by e-filing first and then get the super crisp look that I'm looking for afterwards. So just going in with my 80/80, it is pretty coarse, use what works for you, and be careful. As you can see, I'm squeezing the crap out of my client's fingers to make sure that it doesn't wobble on the client. That is a very painful thing to do. I've done it to myself and actually lifted my nail bed when doing that, especially when you're going in for these shapes. So you're gonna see I'm always bracing the opposite portion of the nail. If I'm doing that up and down motion on the free edge, that's what I like to do to get a nice sharp shape. You'll see I squeeze and put my other fingers underneath the nail so that it prevents it from wobbling for the most part, but we just want a nice sharp shape at this point. Just going in with this buffing block just to give the nails a quick smooth down. I also find that this helps me in removing any product that might be sitting on the skin. And I like to buff underneath the nails just like that to soften it just a tiny bit for the client so that they don't go like scratching themselves or ripping their clothes or anything like that. But yeah, just buffing the nails super quickly. If you're interested in my nails, I apologize. I did try to film both of those sets, but man, I don't know what's going on in terms of filming and my nails. I will, because this client was actually looking at my right hand, super cool. Maybe we'll try something with her similarly, but just like change the color scheme. But yeah, those are sadly gone at this point, and I didn't get the footage, but they're super cute. Check out my nails too. But yeah, just making sure to buff the nails, and then I'm gonna send the client to go wash her hands. Once she's back, I'm going to spray her down with some alcohol and use my manicure brush to just remove any further debris or any moisture from like soaps or oils that, you know, might be on the nails or anything like that. If we're going in with a gel application afterwards, I want to make sure that it's nice and dehydrated and clean and ready for that. So last thing for this gorgeous set is just to glossy top coat. You could totally go matte, but honestly the magic is in the pixies and we have to see that. So I'm going in with Gloss It from Not Polish on the top and bottoms of these nails, mainly because they are a glass tip. We, you know, strategically left it clear so that we could see that ethereal glass look. So just making sure that once I'm done with the top, we just, you know, get that top coat on the bottom of the nail, and it's super gorgeous. Take your time, you know, don't apply too much so that you're warping your shape. You can clean your sidewalls if you need to, and then have the client cure for 60 seconds. And here is what that set ended up looking like. Super pretty. I don't think I can get enough of Moon and Star's nails. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely like if you like, subscribe for more. Happy Halloween/fall season. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.